Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another third-party unlicensed 1/12 scale figure unboxing and review video. Now today we're going to be taking a look at none other than the Felix Toys The Clown. Now you may be thinking, Justin, what on earth is this? Well, keen-eyed viewer, this is a Joaquin Phoenix Joker in 1/12 scale. Fingers crossed to scale well alongside your Mezco figures and potentially your Figuarts and Mafex figures as well, but we'll be getting to the bottom of that throughout the course of this video. But it is worth mentioning, once again, this is an unlicensed product. That means the company Felix Toys doesn't hold the intellectual property rights to actually brand this as a Joker product. Hence the name The Clown, and just a simple image of the clown mask on the front of the box. So bear that in mind if you do want to pick up your very own Joker. I do believe he is in stock with toyswonderland.com right now. I have popped the link in the description below for your reference purposes only. This is by no means a promotional video. This is a product that I purchased with my own money, and this is of course a review. What we are going to do now though is get the box laying flat in the light box and do the unboxing. And here of course we have the box art for the clown himself. I honestly really do enjoy reviewing these smaller scale figures. They are just a lot easier to work with on camera than 1/6 scale stuff, but nevertheless, here is the box itself. You can see the Joker mask in a nice high gloss on the front, then a nice matte black all around. We do also have the clown with this sort of dirty, gritty looking text, and some legal information on the back. I do like, however, that they have put artistic interpretation just to kind of skirt the copyright laws ever so slightly. Now, in terms of the size and scale of this guy, he is relatively small. I do believe this is a more accurate 1/12 scale rather than some of the other 1/12 scale figures that we often get that are actually inching closer towards the 7-inch mark. But I have to say, he does feel about right in hand. Now you can see he does come with 3 additional head sculpts and a second tray of accessories. So what we are going to do now is get all of this stuff laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. And here we have all of the accessories that come with Joker. Now unfortunately, he doesn't come with a display base. I was really hoping he was going to, just because of the smaller size, you'd expect him to include at least a stair diorama piece. That would have been absolutely awesome. But nevertheless, he does come with 4 head sculpts, so I don't really have any right to complain. Starting off with the smiling head sculpt, he is looking off to the side ever so slightly. There's a little bit of blood on his cheek there, and also on his forehead. This looks absolutely incredible. For 1/12 scale, I think they nailed it. The paint applications and the sculpt is definitely on point. I can see Joaquin in this head sculpt. Let me know what you think of the head sculpts once, of course, we've taken a look at all of them down in the comments below. Next up, we do have the completely bloodied up head sculpt from the end of the movie. This one looks exceptional as well. The interesting thing here is they're all unique sculpts. The hair, the expression, it's all different between pretty much every single one of them. That's quite surprising. They haven't just taken the one sculpt and just popped a bunch of blood on there. This is really impressive work by Felix Toys. And once again, the paint applications look incredible. Next up, we do have the Fleck head sculpt. This one, I don't really see the likeness as strongly as the fully painted renditions, but it's still, from a technical perspective, very well done. The skin texture and paint applications are on point here. And finally, we do have just the regular Joker head sculpt. For some reason, I'm seeing an M Toys head sculpt that's been shrunk down here. Obviously, that's not the case. It's a completely different, unique sculpt, but it's giving me M Toys vibes, and that's definitely not a bad thing. Once again, this is painted to an exceptionally high standard, and the hair is sculpted really well on pretty much all of the sculpts. You can see he does come with a wide array of hands. All of the hands are painted exceptionally well as well. I know I said that a bunch of times, but really they are. You can see the skin texture and the sculpts are all unique for the hands themselves. They're also a softer, rubbery style material, which will help when you're trying to install them on the body. He also comes with his Joker mask. This does have an elastic on the back. You can see it's a little bit crudely attached, but you can definitely clean that up, and some real hair out the sides there. You can, of course, attach this to the head sculpt if that's something you'd like to do, but in my opinion, it's not the best way of displaying the figure. The actual sculpt itself, in my opinion, is far too good to cover up with that mask. Now, interestingly enough, he does come with an Oscar, a teeny tiny little 1/12 scale Oscar, painted and sculpted very, very nicely with a really punchy, vibrant metallic gold on there. This is my first 1/12 scale Oscar. He also comes with a revolver, super duper tiny, no moving parts. Thank goodness. When it comes to small stuff like this, no moving parts is definitely a good thing, trust me on that, but it is painted rather nicely with a dark wash in the handle area. Finally, he does come with his little notebook here. It doesn't open, but it is a fixed sculpted piece. It is actually rather rubbery, which is quite interesting. You can, of course, have him hold this. Just hiding away off camera, he also does come with a super darn tiny cigarette. There is technically supposed to be two, but unfortunately, I could only see one in the box. This one has a little bit of a burnt end there, and I do believe you will be able to pop that in his hand. But that's pretty much it for the accessories. What we are going to do now is get the Joker himself out here and take a closer look. And here we have Joker standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. And yeah, it does what it says on the tin. It's a 1/12 scale version of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. In my opinion, it might just be the best 1/12 scale version. I know there technically hasn't been an official one yet, but like the Fwoosh aka Robo said in his video, it can be kind of pricey to put together a 1/12 scale Joker. Some of those head sculpts alone are incredibly expensive. So yes, while the price is slightly higher on this guy, you're getting 4 head sculpts plus a fully tailored suit, and you're getting accessories to boot. And it all works together perfectly. So, as I said, it is a little bit more pricey, but I think if you're looking for a 1/12 scale version of Joaquin as Joker, this is pretty much the way to go. It's a really strong release. Now, it's not 100% flawless, more on that in just a second, but overall, I really do like the way it looks. What we are going to do now, though, is take him off the rotating turntable, punch in, and take a closer look at the details. And here we have him up close and personal, and I have to say, for a super teeny tiny version of the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, he looks really impressive. The head sculpt sits on the body very, very nicely, and it doesn't have the same issue that the 1/6 scale versions have, where the hair is just slightly too long and it prevents the articulation. But don't worry, we will be going over that later in the video. Now we may as well show you what the various head sculpts look like on the body. They are relatively easy to swap out, which is definitely a good thing. I haven't as of yet decided which one my favorite is on the body. I am curious though. Let me know which one is your personal favorite down in the comments below. But I think I'm personally leaning towards the one that is just a little bit more cheeky with the subtle smirk, and he's looking off just to one side ever so deviously. It's a really impressive sculpt. Now, talking about the outfit, sometimes when you get 1/12 scale figures, it looks a little bit funky because they don't really lend well to having real clothing. But in this instance, I'm pleased to report it actually does look fairly decent. It does still have a slightly baggy look about it, and he does look a little bit stumpy when you don't have him in the right pose. But trust me, when you get him in hand, you'll be able to pose those issues away. Now, in terms of the coloration of the jacket, it is one of those lighter style jackets. Some have leaned more towards a darker color, like this lining right here, which I personally would have preferred, but this lighter red is still technically accurate to some scenes from the film. Underneath, he does have a yellow mustard vest, and all of these buttons are fake. It's actually a Velcro piece like you can see right there, and then the same thing for the shirt underneath. No real buttons, thank goodness. The good thing about the shirt though is the collar is a really stiff material, so it won't be sort of folding over itself and degrading over time, which is definitely a plus because sometimes that does happen. Moving down to the pants, they are nicely tailored and very slim fitting. They start off wider and taper down to the leg there, which I do believe is accurate to the film. He also, even for a 1/12 scale figure, has real white socks, which is a nice touch. And finally, the shoes themselves are really well done. The sculpt is exceptional and the paintwork looks good as well. And yes, these shoes I do believe are accurate to the ones worn in the film. But overall, for a really teeny tiny version of Joker, I'm really impressed. Now for a quick side-by-side comparison, here we have the Joker standing alongside the Mezco Dawn of Justice Batman. Honestly, I think this scale does work. Ben Affleck is a relatively tall guy, and this Mezco figure being slightly taller than the Felix Toys Joker works perfectly for me. Granted, these are technically more true to scale for 1/12. They're slightly shorter, so if you do want this Joker to go up alongside your McFarlane DC Multiverse figures, I don't think that's going to work. He's going to be slightly too small, but if you're sticking him with your other cloth-clothed figures, I think you're going to be pretty happy. Just going over articulation on Joker here. Now bear in mind, this is my personal copy of the figure, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful. I'm sure when you get yours in hand, you can push the joints slightly further than I'm willing to go. Now starting off with the head sculpt itself, it is on a fixed neck, but don't let that deter you. It does have a significant range of motion all the way around. The arms themselves go out to about there, they go forward pretty much to about there. There is a butterfly joint at the shoulder, there is also a swivel at the bicep, you have a double bend at the elbow which also incorporates that swivel, and a regular 1/12 scale / 1/6 scale wrist joint for the hand itself. Now for the torso, it is relatively limited, but there is a swivel, pivot, and crunch side to side. The legs go forward to about there. I don't honestly know why they are this restricted. I'm curious, I may actually take the pants off a little bit and just see if I can loosen up those joints. The legs go out to about there, swivel at the upper thigh, double bend there for the knee, and of course a ball joint for the ankle itself. Just wrapping up on the 1/12 scale Felix Toys Joker. Now me having not ever heard of Felix Toys before, I really didn't know what to expect going in. I had seen a couple of videos, notably the one on the Fwoosh, and by the way, that was a fantastic video, so go ahead and check it out if you haven't, but other than that, I had no idea what to expect. Having it now in hand, I'm really pleasantly surprised. It's super well painted in terms of the sculpts themselves, they are super strong as well, plus the outfit is fantastic. Couple that with a really well articulated body, and in my opinion, you have a winner. They've also chucked a few accessories in there for good measure, making this, in my opinion, one of the best Joker figures in pretty much any scale. Granted, the 1/12 scale version is going to be a lot smaller, but it's still a really strong contender. If you want something nice and compact to remember the film by, pop him on your shelf, this is definitely the way to go. The 1/6 scale versions are fantastic in their own right, but there are so many to choose from. This guy comes with 4 head sculpts in the box. One Arthur Fleck, couple battle damage ones, one a little bit more cheeky and devious, and I love that. This, as I said, is a really strong Joker release. Now, I picked up mine from toyswonderland.com. Link is in the description below for your reference purposes only, but bear in mind this is an unlicensed product. That means the company Felix Toys doesn't hold the intellectual property rights to actually brand this as Joker themed, so bear that in mind when you are making your purchasing decisions. Also, while you are down there, why not check out the link to 6 Scale Network, the awesome Facebook group. Come along, chat figures, share photos of your collection, and of course, see what's coming up next on the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.